everybody, Chef Sally here. I'm going to go through a quick demo on how to make brown butter. Those of you who are helping me test a virtual feast joined me last Friday and we walked through making brown butter. So now I'm going to just show you quickly how to do that, because I'm going to post this as a demo for my decadent oatmeal chocolate chip cookie recipe that I'll be posting soon. So for those of you that didn't attend the class, I wanted you to be able to see how to make brown butter. So I've been melting a stick that's a half a cup of butter, just regular salt. I use salted butter because I like the salty flavor, but you can use unsalted butter. And I've been melting it for about 3 minutes. So it's melted and it's starting to foam up. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. I don't know that I can. Okay, so I'm just going to hold it up to the camera. So you can see it's starting to bubble up a little bit, but it's still not brown. So we're going to be patient and we're going to just let it keep foaming up. Now you want to keep the heat at about medium, and you may want to lower it a little bit once it starts bubbling, especially if you have an electric stove like I do, because it's easy. It takes just a second for the butter to go from beautiful brown to burned. So you're going to need to keep adjusting the heat and keep an eye on it. And you may want to stir it on occasion. I'm just using a wooden spoon, but you can use whatever you've got. I'm just going to stir it, and you can see it's still got that foam on the top of it, and that's what we're going to keep an eye on, because in just a few minutes it's going to start bubbling up and it's going to turn a gorgeous golden brown, and you're going to start smelling. It smells almost like hazelnuts cooked in a caramel sauce. It is just beautiful, and it elevates any recipe where you would use butter for baking or for fish or chicken or shrimp. It's even fantastic on popcorn, and I think I forgot to mention that the other night, but it's lovely on fresh popcorn. So it's still bubbling up. I'm just going to keep stirring. This process takes from start to finish 7 to 10 minutes, just depending on your stove and on how high you've got the heat. Again, you don't want to make it too terribly high because it will burn very quickly. Now you can start on medium high just to get the butter melted, but you need to turn it down to medium or below after that, because if you don't, it will burn. And I see little flecks of brown. I'm going to hold it up to the camera again in just a minute so that you can see it up close. But I just want to keep this process going. And it's about to start. Wait for it. Wait for it. I'm not a very patient person, for those of you who know me. This is like waiting for opening presents on Christmas morning. Just stirring, and then I'm going to let it sit for just a minute because you want it to start turning brown. And if you keep stirring constantly, it kind of slows down that process. Like I mentioned, I'm going to be posting on my blog, and I'll also add it to Facebook, to my Facebook group, a recipe for decadent oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. And I'm also going to do a demo on how to make oat flour for those of you who don't have oat flour but you do have oatmeal. So I'll be doing that as well. But let's focus on the butter for now. Starting. And I'm actually just going to move the camera closer so you can see it. Let's see if I can turn the light on. Yeah, that doesn't help. It's starting to turn like a beautiful nutty brown. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but the foam is starting to turn a light brown. So we're going to just let it keep going. It's just going to take a second, and all of a sudden it just happens very, very quickly. Once it starts turning, if you have an electric stove at this point, you're going to turn it off and just let it sit there for another minute, and you can see it's turning a beautiful brown. See how it's turning that toasty golden brown? I'm going to swirl it a little bit. We're going to let it keep going for just a minute. I can smell it now, and it's amazing. And I've told people this is probably what heaven smells like. And now it's starting to turn brown. I'm going to take it off the heat. And I'm just going to swirl it a little bit. And you're going to notice that there are little flecks of brown residue on the bottom of your pan. You want those. That's what makes this delicious brown butter and gives it that deep flavor. So I'm going to take it now. I'm going to put this back so that you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to take a glass container. I'm just going to take a measuring cup. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to pour this brown butter. And you could actually take it just a little bit darker than this, but again, you have to be very careful. And I'm just scraping all of those delicious brown bits off the bottom, because that's what's going to give it that deep caramel flavor. And I'm going to hold this up to the camera so you can see that color. It's a beautiful caramel color on the butter. And that is how you make brown butter. Now, what I'm going to do, since I'm making cookies with it, is I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and I'm going to just let it start solidifying a little bit. You don't want it to be too solid if you're going to bake with it. You want it to be softened, like a stick of butter would be if you'd left it out for a couple hours to soften for baked. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my demo, and have a great day. Thanks.